It's the hardest of life.
It's okay. We are we resetting?
All right, ladies and
Microphone
gentlemen,
muted.
we're not restarting shit. Our commissioner has been streaming to his personal Twitch for the past 5 minutes. You know, shit happens, but we are here, attempt number 3 to go live on twitch.tv/SwainBL, and here we are. I have just boldly gone where no man should ever go and predicted Mercy Nerf Me Daddy to pull the upset tonight. And Thrifty Cuckold Senpai has agreed with me.
Wow. You fucking think you can just call me a cuck like that?
Yeah, you were just saying like, oh yeah, I think Easy Clap's gonna win. The second I'm like, I think Mercy Nerf Me Daddy's gonna win. You're like,
No,
I
I said they have
that's
a
smart.
chance. I personally think Easy Clap's gonna win. I think they're gonna come back revitalized. They have UTech. They're gonna get their shit together, and they're gonna clap Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
Whew. Some hard words. I too am on the side of Easy Clap.
Yeah.
Just
You
because
think you
of
can
how
just call me a
strong they've
cuck
been.
like that? It's bold, brazen assumptions like that that led Waifu to 5th place.
No, it's my DPS players, but I'm not here to talk about them tonight.
These are some hard words.
I don't loop tree in with my DPS players, by the way. It's my
That's
other
fine.
DPS
That's
players.
cute. You can keep trying to take your less subtle shots at me. Act like you're being the better man when you're not.
Well, you see, actually, that was the joke, and I didn't want to have to explain it because I only like to do that when I specifically think it's going to be funnier. And in this case, I thought it was less funny. But now you've already explained the joke for me, and you've
You're
ruined
welcome.
the joke, Tim.
I mean, that's kind
This
of
is
my job here.
This
to ruin...
is what makes you a cuck.
I don't know that makes me a cuck. I think it's just
But
my job to ruin
what
your day.
doesn't make anyone a cuck is making it to the semifinal, which none of us have done.
You're not wrong.
And I've been saying all week, I think this is a really exciting matchup on paper. I think that if any team is going to be able to just play the counter strategy against Easy Clap, it's going to be the team with 30 and Ninja Plez because they have the skill at the DPS positions to handle, like we were saying, I think on the Zed stream, they've got the players that can play the hit scan, but they've also got the best McCree in the league in 30, which obviously one of the kind of go-to picks against Tracer. They can run the Reaper if they want. Both their DPS players have played a lot of Reaper. The Reaper can be very effective into the constant dive tanks that Easy Clap run. They have so many different options to attack what Easy Clap run.
Someone I really want to mention that we haven't talked about is because their team is so good. Their 2 DPS are so good. Everyone kind of forgets about the support about person I want to mention, Spoopy Koopa, who came into being a support, I believe, just a couple weeks ago, playing a lot of Zenyatta for his team, and he's pretty freaking accurate. If people don't dive him correctly, he will do a lot of damage, and it was kind of scary playing against him, and just to see the difference.
But he is very, very weak to being dove correctly, and his team does not offer him a lot of supports. If you watched the replay with Waifu Superstar, I wouldn't recommend my teammates to do that. But if you happen to stumble across that replay, you will notice that Thrifty really was able to get on a lot of pretty creative flanks onto Spoopy, and Spoopy was just kind of left back there in no man's land to fend for himself. If 30 and Ninja aren't able to handle the No Wonder Dive, Spoopy Koopa's going to spend a lot of tonight running around praying for his life.
Yeah, I think No Wonder is going to be the man to watch in this matchup. He's not as flashy, like he hasn't got so many game plays of the week or anything like that, but he has consistently been really, really solid, and he puts a lot of pressure on the back line. I think that's like one of the weakest points of Mercy Daddy.
Yeah, I agree as well. No wonder if there's any one most important player to watch in this match, I think it's him. We don't know the results of our regular season awards until next week, but one of the favorites to walk away with the MVP, and it's going to take an MVP caliber performance to win against 30 and Ninja Plez, who are probably a little peeved. They've had to go all season long hearing themselves get talked down compared to some of these new players. And Ninja compared to everybody, but this is a big chance for them to come in and step up and show that they can carry.
And for me, the player I would look out for, maybe even over No Wonder, would be UTech. I might have a little bit of bias just from playing duos with him, but I think that the amount of space this man creates by himself is insane. He really lets his Winston and Shooter Die play a little bit. I guess you'd call it stupid aggressive, but it works because his DPS can follow up really well.
Yeah, I mean, stupid aggressive is smart if the whole team is stupid aggressive, and that's been easy clap all season.
Yeah, that is like what that team does. They go really hard for everything. Fuck, guys, we're gonna lose this point that, you know, it's a half a meter away, and we can only get 2 guys on it. Fuck it, throw them at it. Don't fall back, regroup. We keep throwing bodies at the problem. You know, this hold. There's a hold right here. We have 30% on it, and they're gonna take it. It's a 6-1. I don't care. Get on it. Throw more bodies on it. Keep throwing bodies at the problem until we don't have bodies to throw, and we're all dead, or the point finally flips, or the cart finally reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's
they
one
fight
thing.
for everything.
And that's one thing I want to keep an eye on tonight is, can Easy Clap drag Mercy Nerf Me Daddy down to their playstyle? Because it's something they've successfully done in a lot of their matches, especially when they win. I don't think that Easy Clap are one of the most tactically sound teams in the league. They outskill their opponents, and they do a great job of kind of convincing the team they're up against to just meet them in these open field brawls, at which point they're basically the Dothraki army, and you can't fuck with that. 30s, I know 30 will try to pass off the credit to people on his teammate, but when we're talking tactics, everyone's going to think of this as 30's team, and I think for good reason. And this has not been 30's most tactically sound team ever. Not that they've been bad, but I've noticed that they kind of fall into some bad habits a little more than we're used to seeing out of teams with 30 on them. And I think that could be a really big thing to watch over the course of a full best of 5, is can this team kind of play tactically sound Overwatch and take advantage of the deficiencies in how Easy Clap plays, or will they start to panic if they fall behind, try to contest everything, and then just get blown out of this series entirely?
And of all games, that the first game might be the most important, I think this one will be, because we've already talked a little bit, Easy Clap, it might be a bit more of an emotional team. It's hard to, we haven't seen them have to come back from games often, but the one game they lost to Blabs, obviously, they didn't manage to keep their emotions in check, and we'll see. Between Mercy Nerf Me Daddy and Easy Clap, whoever gets this first map might, in my opinion, just take the whole series based off of past events alone and emotions. But you know, it's a pretty long series. It's a best of 5, right?
Yes, it is.
So yeah, these can go. If it goes a full 5, I would very much like to see that. See. But yeah, on the other terms of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, I'd say Ninja Plays is one of the most like streaky players I've ever seen. He has really, really high highs, and then other times he just gets himself caught out of position. I'd say especially on Pharah, he tends to want to position himself into a place where he can just get a 6-man barrage or just be like able to catch that one random support out, which can be really good, but I've seen it by his team quite a few times, and it can be a bit tilty in itself. I haven't played with him too many times before, but you know, if that continues to happen, it definitely could be a bit worrying.
All right, so I think we're just double checking to make sure these teams are ready to get into map bans, as we will be starting here in a moment. We're down to our normal best of 5 rules at this point, so that means map 1 will be banning down to 1 map. Ooh, Overwatch League tokens granted.
Hey.
I don't have that stream up right now. Life is good. And shout out to everyone that's going to be watching real Overwatch esports right now. You could be watching Dallas Fuel versus Shanghai Dragons, but you're not, you want to see Mercy Nerf Me Daddy going up against Easy Clap, and I don't blame you. Who wants to watch two of the worst teams
Washed
in the
up
Overwatch
professional
League?
players.
Yeah,
Oof.
when you could be watching two of the best teams in the baddie Overwatch League.
Yeah. They're at least top 3, so.
Yeah, one of these sounds way better to me than the other. Which one? I'll leave that to you. But
That's definitely Matt Benz. Whoever, I believe Easy Clap picks second because they should get the last pick because they're the upper seed.
Correct. So I think both of these teams are ready, so we're gonna hop in. So thank you for joining the pre-show. I guess we could keep talking general while they do map bans. I've learned you can't really talk through map bans.
yeah,
So I
it's
guess
just it just doesn't work as well. Unfortunately, it's not like picks and bans in League of Legends. I guess what we could talk about as far as maps go, though, is what do you think these two teams are going to try and prioritize?
yeah,
Really
it's hard
hard
to
to say.
yeah, Easy Clap have been pretty equally dominant on all game types, but Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, they've done a little bit better when payloads are involved, as we referenced last week. But 30 and Ninja, I think both specifically really like King of the Hill. So the only thing I think is going to be ruled out entirely is 2CP. We saw last week when we saw Mercy Nerf Me Daddy play twice, have a few opportunities to make some map bans of their own. They were consistently
hate
just
2CP.
yeah, they were just taking out 2CP as a game mode and willing to touch anything else. So
And what's really funny about that is we played a scrim against them the night before, and we beat them 3-1, being the only map type we lost was 2CP, and we freaking just lose the next day. But Bimol banning it was a slight surprise, but it's not like that many people enjoy 2CP anyways. So I honestly think their best map is payload. It's just something. It might even favor Easy Clap into the style where they keep throwing their bodies at the cart over and over on defense. So that might be good for them. You know, it's almost a game of just what is it called? About rock, paper, scissors. As in what they're feeling, I'd say at the time. Put that Hanamura back.
sorry,
Put that Hanamura
we're having some difficulties figuring out how banning works. Apparently,
How do I play?
We made our
Whipped.
first ban. They They're gonna freaking. They're just gonna watch them ban Hanamura to spite them. Like, oof. Alright.
That's a lot of spite. Put that out there. That is a very spiteful thing to do. But
And there it is. The Hanamura ban. Alright. It wouldn't surprise me just to see all the TCPs go away and then.
yeah, I don't think either of these two teams like 2CP, as most of this league does not like 2CP.
Junkertown actually gonna be taken out by MNMD. Really?
Yeah,
We won't be seeing that Widowmaker battle, it looks like. Maybe just a bit too cheesy. Numbani from Easy Clap. They actually played against each other on Numbani, and I think that Ninja Please managed to shut down No Wonder pretty decently, as McCree himself, but they just don't like the map, I guess. The old dreaded Blizzard world gone too. Just a bit of a messy map. And the map they lost to not to mention Bobby's Dabs week 10, so I don't want to be on that one either. Okay. As we were saying that MNMD is pretty good on payloads, they disagree with us. They do not want to face Easy Clap on that payload maps.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if MNMD's thought process is a little more pick related instead of game type related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. I mean, and it really, for like, if you look against an Easy Clap doesn't really appear to have a weak map type. They just kind of won on everything in general.
What are the chances that MNMD? I think I can see them playing a couple different comps, but I could see them playing the exact same comp as Easy Clap does, running Ninja on Pharah. Instead of running him on Genji for a dive. It's either that or they're gonna run like double hit scan. Which do you guys think is more likely?
I think they'll swap it up a lot, actually. We've seen even when they're playing well, they like to swap their comp pretty often.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those to start, but then kind of big swaps coming in when they swap the defense, or especially when they swap maps. I mean, even sometimes just when they capture or give up a points, they'll completely flip what they're running.
Yeah.
I am really interested to see if we get to see those two comps go head to head at the exact same time, though, because it would be really interesting because that'd be a lot of pressure on 30 Ninja to out execute the opposing Pharah and Tracer, if that's how they run it with the Pharah and the Tracer. I mean, they could always run the Pharah and the Soldier as well, which is a bit more normal for MNMD.
Actually, I did forget that last time MNMD played against Easy Clap, 30 pretty much refused to play Tracer against No Wonder.
He didn't play a lot of it this season. Probably less than he played last season. But he has had some weeks where he's been very, very, very effective on the pick. So I think there's just kind of a lot of thought that goes into it from him. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't want to try to do the dive race, though, where not only does he have to out execute his opponents, but then he has to let his teammates out execute the opposing tanks and healers, which I wouldn't want to get dragged down into that game plan if I were MNMD.
That sounds like a way for like just an easy win for Easy Clap. Like that seems like a best case scenario. Is like 30 just tries to outrace at the exact same thing that No Wonder is trying to pull off.
It's hard to out Easy Clap to Easy Clap at the exact same comp they've run since week 1. I don't think they've been doing much else, but we're down to our last 3 maps actually: Route 66, Ilios, and Nepal.
And Ilios going to be banned, so it's going to be Easy Clap's choice between Route 66 and a payload or Nepal and King of the Hill.
2 very different maps actually. MNMD did win on both these maps last week in different matches.
Different matches, yeah.
Yeah, they beat us on Nepal, and I think they beat you guys Route 66.
Correct. Route 66 was when they had total no bans at all map choice at the start of the 4th, 5th place match. That was their choice, so presumably a map they feel like one of their top.
Yeah. They both have different Pharah points, I'd say. Nepal, you run Pharah basically. You can run her on every single part of that map, and we're gonna see Nepal. Interesting.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for the official pre-show. So we're just going to double check to make sure these teams are ready and then hop in.
All right, boys, enjoy casting the game. I am out of here.
Thank you for the help, Mr. Thrifty.
Buddy disconnected from your channel.
And into this best of 5 we go, so...
They're both ready as well. Oof.
Actually, I think that was 3 readies out of Easy Clap, and we're still waiting from MNMD.
Oh, really? Shoot, you're right.
There we go. Okay, there's the okay from 30. So in we go. No overlay issues for the first time in a while. I'm thinking.
Let's hope so. Do you have a? Are you gonna keep going MNMD all the way here on Nepal? Do you think that?
I'm sticking with my guns, but I think that this first map is going to be majorly important. Like we were saying earlier, I hate to John Madden it and say whoever wins the first map is going to have an advantage, but I do think it's going to actually be a pretty substantial advantage whoever wins this first map, because I think this will be a really momentum-based match.
And if, especially after losing the first match, you kind of... I don't want to say it's all about mentality, but in reality, Overwatch is...
It's an incredibly mentality-based game.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of us coming from our League of Legends backgrounds, in League of Legends, like, you can make a mistake early and you just can have such long periods of the game to kind of mentally reset yourself. In Overwatch, you don't have more than 20 or 30 seconds before you kind of have to regroup your thoughts and just be ready to go in for the next high-pressure fights.
Yeah. Let's see how much these teams have prepared, and right now, we will be looking at almost the exact same comps, but Spoopy is running Zenyatta instead of Lucio. So
Yeah, that
almost,
looks like the
basically
only
the
change.
exact stuff.
That's going to be a lot of pressure on Spoopy. He's not going to have a whole lot helping him out in the back line. And it's looking like both these teams are going straight up to the high ground, and they're charging right at each other. No wonder in 30, actually getting into it, a little tracer brawl nice and early here. Both just tracing around. The tanks are kind of trading damage here. But 30 is going to be the first to fall, losing the Tracer duel to No Wonder. And now Heron's getting some good pressure out in the air. There is no damage going up on the Spyra. But Ninja Plus has taken out to Mighty Wolf, going in the opposite direction. He's taken out No Wonder as well, so this might be a savable fight for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, but they have to contest this point. But no, they do not get on the point in time. They're tanks. They can't stay here. Oh my god, Ninja Plus already has the Rock Barrage. Chucks out so much damage before losing his life. Ryzak gonna get that Resurrect available as Cruisemaster is trying to flip this point, and he's going to. So Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, they give up 12% for free, but they do end up with the cap.
Yeah, a little bit bad in terms of priority focus there. I don't think, well, anyone really was looking at this Pharah, and she just tore up everything. I think Lucio went down, then No Wonder couldn't even have recall in time, so really unfortunate for them.
But No Wonder is going to try to backgap this point, but his team has lost Heron on the entry, so now No Wonder going to be under a lot of pressure as the sole DPS here, but he has found Spoopy Koopa. A 5 versus 5 as it's moving its way towards the point. Albino Joe still in that Valkyrie, putting out some good heals. Splinter and Ryzak both going down for MNMD. This could be decent, but Ninja Plus getting the first pick of his own. Takes out Shooter Dive before going down to UTech, and that point's going to flip towards Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. Now Cruisemaster just taking forever to get staggered here. Off of this point is a little baby diva, and they're not going to kill him. They're going to make him run this one back. Cruisemaster needs to just run towards his spawn, so this team is forced to kill him.
Yeah. Something that's really nice to say about Easy Clap is they know how to engage into a fight really fast. There might have been only about 20% done, and they immediately started that fight, leaving MNMD very little time to react. And as you can see, ult advantage is quite close, 3 ults for each, so
yeah, Easy Clap only had to pull the Valkyrie to flip that point, but Ninja Plus gets the long range pick out of No Wonder. Spoopy Koopa, though, is going to be traded to once again have the high ground fight happening. Crew's going to lose his back, and now Ninja Plus once again reigning that justice. He takes out 2 before going down to the higher justice, but Heron only going to get 1 with his. Both Mercies currently down as this fight's making its way towards the point. We've got Splinter's Monkey Ultimate being used on the point, but he's going to lose his life. This is looking good for Easy Clap as they're pushing back here. Now the DPS down as well, and we are in one fight territory.
Yeah, I think they need to pop Mercy ult. They need to go in immediately. Splinter and Cruz need to dive that Lucio and at least force the beat. But if Wolf can get a really good beat, they can still win this fight. That's what's so nice about support ults in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that as we do see Mercy Nerf Me Daddy coming in the front door. Ryzak popping that Valkyrie nice and early, not taking any chance, but here comes the dive. Spoopy Koopa popping the Transcendence, as the opposing Lucio ult has gone out. So the support ult's off the table early here as this fight making his way towards point. 30 drops a pulse pop, gets some tank damage, but no wonder drops a pulse of his own, gets Spoopy. Heron is down early in this fight. Ninja is gonna try to get some justice, but he only finds one with it. Nerf on the point, just clearing up some time as Heron trying to rain the damage down. Now Utek is dropping his ult on this point. Mercy Nerf Daddy are able to step off and disengage the self-destruct.
They have Mercial, they invested it. They want to win this fight.
Yeah, Easy Clap not taking chances here, and it's looking like it's paying off, but Ninja finds a pick onto Heron. This could still be a chance, but no, now Ninja is down. It is just Splinter alive here for his team. He's buying a lot of time. He's gotten 30 to the point, but now it is just that Tracer, and now the Tracer down as well. And first round lost. Gonna be a win secure there for Easy Clap.
Yeah, this game, if they keep running these same comps, it's gonna be all about target prioritization and how well the tanks and the DPS can really play to each other. I think that right now Easy Clap has just so much better teamwork between Utek, Shurodai, and No Wonder that it's hard to say 30. I haven't seen too much work out of 30 in Cruise Master. Normally it's just Ninja Please getting a lot of solo kills or 30 getting pulse bomb damage. So they need to work on that more. Maybe a little bit better shot calling.
Maybe, and we're seeing a bit of a different setup coming here with Splinter swapping over to the Reinhardts for his team. So something that can protect his backline a bit more ideally. But Utek is having none of it. He dives right through the team, cuts down 30 early. No Wonder on the backline. He's taking out Spoopy Koopa as well. This is looking like an opening disaster here for MNMD. They've lost Splinter as well now. Cruz being DMEC on that point. And Cruz gonna lose his life. And there we go. Point captured. Easy Clap as they're pushing forward. Taking out Ryzak for funsies.
Something to say about about the difference between this Zenyatta and Lucio. Zenyatta's a lot easier to kill than a Lucio, which is kind of really helping. Spoopy can't do enough damage and can't like find the Tracer by himself. If he could, it would render the pick viable, but right now he's just getting killed. He might as well be playing Lucio.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think Spoopy does have a bit of a smaller hero on the supports that could be costing him right now, as No Wonder tosses out the pulse bomb but doesn't find anything. Mercy Nerf Daddy contents to push this one in slow behind the Reinhardt, but that shield's going down fast. Now Utek diving forward, taking out Splinter as he was very, very separated from his teammates there. Goofy Koopa down as well. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Easy Clap so far. But Mercy Nerf Daddy look like they want to commit to this. Cruz making his way towards the point, but he has lost the mech just as 30 has made it to the point. 30 does take out Albino Joe as he started the Valkyrie. That's both the healers now taken down by 30. But it's still just 30 on this Tracer on this point, buying time for Ninja Plus to get back. But his teammates have come close, and it's looking like Mercy Nerf Daddy want to keep contesting this. Splinter's there.
The guy is really low.
Oh, and there's going to be the disengage instead. They want to go for the full reset to make sure they get one clean fight left in this game. 30 has swapped over to the Soldier 76, but there is a big ult advantage in favor of Easy Clap with a few close. Ryzak's popping this Valkyrie early, and in comes Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. Straight up the front of the point. Heron raining justice, finds Splinter, finds Spoopy, finds some damage. Ninja Plus only finds one with the justice of his own. This is looking good for Easy Clap again. Utek has taken out Cruz's mech. Ryzak is down. The beat gonna be dropped just to keep things safe, but that was a staggered team kill. And barring a miracle
left
from Splinter, that I don't think is going to happen. Nepal is going the way of Easy Clap, and that was pretty decisive.
Oof. They did not manage to play the Easy Clap comp as well as Easy Clap, for sure.
Play of the game.
Yeah, play of the game going to be Ninja Plez, who had some big moments at the start of the match, and decent ult here at the end of the first points, but it was not enough to flip this points.
Huh. Oh.
But going back to what you were saying about Spoopy Koopa on the Zenyatta, I agree, and we see he was a Lucio at the end there. I think it was just for the speed to get back to the points, but I think we need to see something different out of Spoopy Koopa. The Zenyatta, it's just not it's not a viable pick in Easy Clap, period, really. No team in the BOL this season has really peeled that well. And you can't beat that dive as a Zenyatta if no one on your team is focusing a lot of effort and appealing. I'd love to see, the Lucio has the ability to just boot people and run away from dive. The Moira can shift around. Keep the Mercy in because the Mercy can jump around as well. But they have to do something and not just let the Zenyatta keep dying at the start of every fight.
Yeah, or either that or they need to have their diva be able to protect him better. I mean, their whole the whole Reinhardt pick was a bit strange too. That map isn't the worst. However, it's not like the whole brawl was on the point enough for him to get massive swings that would like be able to chunk people down. It was
Yeah.
mainly on those stairs, which was awkward.
Yeah, they had some trouble playing around the Reinhardt as well. There was that one fight in particular where Splinter got super separated from his team, and it did not look like the entire team was on the same page there.
Yeah, I would have liked just to see Winston still, but maybe it's just a wasn't feeling it moment, you know.
Yeah, well, they were more competitive on that
The
first point
first
than they
map.
were on the second, so maybe we'll see them go back that way. I have a feeling that we're going to see something with a payload coming out here as Easy Clap is trying to figure out what their 4 bans are going to be.
Yeah. I would imagine probably Route 66, Numbani. As they showed they didn't want to play that. Let's see what else did they ban. Really?
I mean, they
I
did leave Route
guess.
66 down to the end on the bans. It was one of their final 2 to pick from, so maybe they will leave that open. These
True.
teams are kind of all across the board with the bans, so I don't think we're going to just see a game type get eliminated here. I'm kind of pulling for Blizzard World, but that's a me thing.
Okay. Hollywood, Kings Road, Dorado, and Numbani. So no Route
So
66.
Route 66 is open. They're going for. Are those
A
three
payload.
three hybrids and 1 escort?
Yeah.
So playbook kind of open for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy here, and I like this. As we were kind of referencing earlier, Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, their win record is a lot better when there's a payload involved, and it's pretty negative when you're talking about a point-based game mode. They were 1-4-2 on the 2CP, 2-5 on King of the Hill this season, compared to 7-1 in Hybrid and 4-4 on Escort. And I mean, that's a pretty drastic difference. I didn't like them going to the King of the Hill to start the series off, as it looks like we're going to have a router reset. So I guess we'll have a moment for this team to pick. So I guess we're going to have 5 minutes. So
Okay.
I think we'll take a quick stream pause here while we give these guys a chance to get set. So stick around. You know where you will find us.
I'm gonna get a water bottle, so 1 second.
I don't know if he put us live or not.
Oh.
Okay, we are live. So, I
Whoops.
think we're gonna be ready to go in just a second here, folks. We had a router reset coming through. But if you are not tabbed in, we are going to be going to Eichenwald for map 2. As, what the fuck? Who the fuck is... I'm getting a phone call right now. Folks, let me give you some life advice. Don't ever phone call me. I'm busy.
We're casting games.
They
Do they not
hung up.
understand?
They hung up when I said that. Maybe they had the wrong number. Or maybe it was somebody on this stream that heard me bitching about it.
Oof.
Unlikely
Oof.
because there's a delay, but I'm not ruling anything out.
Maybe.
But there's literally no situation where I ever want to get a phone call, so I gotta ignore that one until I see a voicemail pop up.
You know, this 5 minutes might actually have been pretty good for MNMD to just... We were talking about a little bit at the start, player mentality. And I think that the short break really lets people cool off and shrug off the first loss. Play this map that they picked, Eichenwald, they can show some better play, maybe show a little bit different team comps.
Yeah, I expect we're going to see some pretty drastically different picks, and this is, they're defending first here. Eichenwald first point is a pretty drastically unique map on defense in terms of the ways you can set up a turtle. So that's what I am expecting here out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. As they're swapping picks a lot here. They've obviously got some time to assemble their heroes.
I wouldn't mind seeing that Reaper pick. I think it's very good into players like Shoot or Die or Winston's in general. Whenever I'm playing Winston, it feels like every time I play quick play as Winston, just immediately there's Reaper and I'm just tilted. So
yeah, good Reaper play is a really powerful DPS into a D.Va and into a Winston. So they could be saying, maybe they didn't feel like Heron was too huge of a threat in the first game. And they still have the Zenyatta and the Soldier, so they're going to have plenty of pressure on Heron. But they're going to try to abuse these tanks and hopefully keep Spoopy Koopa alive after UTech presses shift.
yeah, they are going to switch off of the Mercy as well. Ryzak and be playing that Moira. Really nothing to talk about on Easy Clap, the exact same thing they've been running. But this Moira,
it's a lower healing overall on the team, but both of their DPS do have a bit of self-sustaining built in. So
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. The tanks are going to have to play a bit more careful, though, especially if these turn into long fights. It could be hard to top these tanks off if the Moira goes Zoom. But we will see. As expected, the usual coming out of Easy Clap is that first Moira ball going to be eaten nice and early. The Orisa setup going to be pretty far back here. They're going to try to force Easy Clap to use their cooldowns to even get towards the point, but they're not really engaging as Easy Clap is going towards the point. But the first pick's going to happen anyways. 30 takes out Albino Joe, but it's going to be a trade as no wonder has found Ryzak. A disaster from the Moira early, but 30 is still putting down some very good damage here, as this is so far a one fight for MNMD. They're going to try to stagger this D.Va. They're going to get it successfully, but ooh, they're going to lose their own mech in the process. This should be a pretty easy point for them to remech, though.
Maybe. It depends how fast they can go. If they're, like, saying they're poking for sure, but I wouldn't expect them to even let the D.Va get her mech back. She's at 50% right now, so
We'll see as that Tracer is making her way over. So Tracer has pulled the DPS away from the choke, and now here come the tanks. Shooter Dot jumping in nice and early. Some decent damage coming out of Easy Clap here as Heron has found an ult of his own. He gets one before being sniped out by Spoopy Koopa, but this has been a lot of picks taken by Easy Clap as they are kind of popping up this point, and no wonder finishes the job with a double. Spoopy gets the Zenyatta trade, but it's not going to be enough. Albino Joe is going to just res him on up, and that is going to be the first point going over nice and early to Easy Clap. Plenty of time remaining.
Aaron managed to really jump in onto 30 on this soldier, and Ninja just couldn't find the damage. He is not feeling the Reaper apparently, so he's gonna switch to Widow. make
Yeah,
sure Heron doesn't
probably-
have a good time.
This is a very good points to be playing the Widowmaker, and I think this was probably the plan all along.
Oh,
So we'll see as he wastes no time taking out No Wonder early, as the castle setup has been established here. The Plez
they
looking
are
for damage.
damage.
Yeah, look how far back Heron is playing. And ooh, 30 actually finds the pick out of the Mighty Wolf. We might see a drop in a moment here. This is getting up into the first man. And now here we go. Splinter on that Orisa, the first to drop in. Cruisemaster coming down to foul. 30 up on the castle, popping a tag to the visor. He's taken out No Wonder. Looking for some more damage, but not quite finding any kills as UTech is traded with Spoopy Coop on the other side. So it is currently a pretty even fight. 5 versus 5 here, but now 30 finds the opposing Winston. Died down, easy clap, and retreating.
Ooh, Heron gonna be showing his first Genji, actually. He's not feeling the play against the Widowmaker holder as expected. Pharaoh's not the best, but...
Yeah, and playstyle-wise, a pretty drastic departure from what we've seen out of him, but composition-wise, it makes a lot of sense here. Go all in on the dive. But Widow has popped the sight, so it's going to be hard to find that dive for at least a moment. But ooh, Heron with the reflect. Takes out Ninja, can take that res out of Ryzak, and now the Diva Bomb going up on top of the castle. Splinter backs up too far, straight into that self-destruct. But Ninja has taken out Heron, going the other direction here. Pulse Bomb going for a suicide out of No Wonder. The dive DPS are down, and even though this card is pushing, this should be a one fight here for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, as they're now establishing onto this card. Cruz and 30 just have to finish off UTech, and they're going to force a late stagger here. And now UTech down. Another good fight from MNMD.
Yeah, after that first reflect from Heron, he kind of jumped up there, used his dash. He had no cooldowns, and he was just trying to kill a Widowmaker and with a Mercy pocketing him, so he got taken down before Shooter Die could even get up there. So.
Yeah, now ults are in a decent place here for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. They've got the Transcendence available. That's a big one that they can hopefully save until that Dragon Blade comes up on the other side. As MNMD, they're backing off a little bit. They're content to give up the high grounds here, as Cruz is kind of awkwardly contesting this card. He's going to lose his neck. A pretty weird contest on a Cruz there, and that's gets this fight off. Valkyrie's being traded. Scooby Koopa actually popping his Valkyrie very early in this fight, and now self-destruct being chucked at the back line, but it goes too deep, does not find anyone. 30 popping tactical visor from downtown looking for something, but Heron gonna have an unopposed Dragon Blade coming up, as there are already 2 members of MNMD down here. The Dragon Blade finding pressure but not finding kills, but it probably doesn't need to. A Shooter Die mopping things up here, and now it's just 30 contesting his card. He's gonna go down as well, and Easy Clap are going to get point 2.
Ninja Blade's even getting staggered a little bit. He's in the castle right now. UTech chased him out, and he will take the suicide to regroup with his team. I would.
Yeah.
Oof. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Junkrat switch from him.
It'll speak of the devil. Big swaps coming out. Junkrat, McCree, Reinhardt, all going to be coming to this point 3 defense here. Not the biggest of ults available from Easy Clap, but they are only 1 fight away from taking Eichenwald. And here we go, the Pulse Bomb coming in, putting big damage on his Splinter. Splinter goes low, and now he is down. Ryzak was taken out by the dive as well, as Ninja's trying to rain some damage out, but he only finds 1 pick before going down himself. Diva ult being dropped on the card by Cruisemaster. It's a Mighty Wolf and Albino Joe caught with their pants down. Cruisemaster coming up huge here, buying time in a fight that his team had looked like they had lost. That is bought time for Splinter, now swapped over to that Winston to get back out of this cart. And MNMD are pushing Easy Clap back here in this corner.
Oh, huge misplay. Huge! And my voice dies, freaking. But I don't understand. It looked like they had plenty of time just to move behind a pillar, but...
Yeah, they should have, but, you know, sometimes the chaos of Overwatch team fighting, it gets to you, and you don't know how to crouch next to that cart. And that could have been the game-winning push there, but instead, Cruisemaster comes up with the play.
Yeah, no, of all the points in this map where dive is the worst, like, this whole thing with Junkrat, this Junkrat spam is really, really deadly in this
Yeah, but
very
there's
close
still
quarters
a huge
area.
ult advantage coming out. And here we go, Heron's gonna get the chance to pop a Dragon Blade, but Ninja Plus 5-2! That Dragon Blade again going down to a tire. Now this is still advantage for MNMD. Albino Joe dies for the aggressive res there. And that is going to be a point held. So ult advantage thrown away quicker than I can talk about it as 3 big ults pops there from Easy Clap.
Seconds remaining.
And maybe more importantly, Swoopy Koopa has the Transcendence available going into this last fight. Ninja Players, though, gonna get picked off here. His teammates have to be careful to not give up any more picks, and Easy Clap is wasting no time. They are diving past this cart. Transcendence comes out too early from Swoopy Koopa. This UTech is just running amok in this backline. No one is turning onto this diva. Just finally being DMAC, but Cruz pretty split from his team. He and Ryzak were up on this cart with Splinter as well. But Easy Clap is finding the damage here. They are starting to find the picks too. Heron unopposed in the sky yet again, forcing Mercy Nerve Me Daddy back towards their spawn. Ryzak trying to buy time on this cart, but he is not able to buy much. Can MNMD touch? They just barely touched, but it's not enough. And with just a few seconds remaining, Easy Clap pushed to point 3.
Yeah. But Heron switch off the Genji was a really smart idea, actually. As without Ninja Please on the hit scan, he seemed to have a much better time. First point when he was on Reaper, and then last point when he was on Junkrat.
Yeah, honestly, Heron did not look that comfortable on the Genji. So good call from them to not commit to that for too long.
Yeah. His team probably carried him through second point, I'd say. So the Widowmaker wasn't affected of enough in that chaotic fight on bridge where there was just like probably 8 ults committed. Just he was sitting there back there on his own, but he couldn't find the supports to kill. There was just too many bubbles, too much chaos. And they're gonna have to try to push all the way through point 3, which is not the easiest.
No, Eichenwald may be one of the more defense-sided maps in Overwatch, as there's not a lot of them.
Check this out.
So we will see what MNMD can do here on the offense. Right now, hovering a 3-tank composition with 30 Reaper going to be the sole DPS if they stick with this.
How much do I like 3-tank? Well, what do you think?
Well, I like 3-tank a lot. I just don't know about this composition with these players, with these opponents.
Yeah, I think Pharmacy is really good into 3-tank. Marcy's probably never going to be touched with this comp.
Yeah, and now they actually swapped Spoopy to Moira at the last second, so they're going to have shotguns to take out opposing tanks, and they're going to be looking for picks that way. We'll see as they're going for the long way around. As Easy Clap are all holding the high ground, but ooh, no wonder it gets picked early. Ninja Plaz, that hook gonna pay off nice and early. Now MNMD have moved their way onto the point. No one is challenging the Mighty Wolf up on this high ground just yet. One of the tanks needs to get up there as 30 is go down. There is no DPS here for MNMD on the offense, but they have traded Albino Joe. They're gonna lose Ryzak in the process, but Easy Clap eventually have to touch this point. Easy Clap have to touch this point. They were contesting the whole time, but they gave up 2 ticks.
And yeah, I'd say MNMD is actually pretty happy with that for 30 getting picked off a little bit early there, unfortunately. Wolf getting a nice snipe on him.
MNMD should be super happy with that. They got 2 ticks in a team fight they lost.
Yeah.
But we have to see here on this next engage, the tanks from MNMD, specifically Cruz and Splinter. Well, Cruz now that Splinter's off the Winston. They have to go up and challenge this high ground. As once again, nice hook early, but they're not quite able to burst the Winston, but it's going to be hard to top him off before this fight starts. So that's going to pull Shooter Guy out of this fight for a while.
But they're going to get the point.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Out of... I don't know. That was atrocious
Lucio?
out of Easy Clap.
Did Lucio boop them at all, or did they just stand on this like little corner and let themselves be barraged into the wall? I don't... It's weird. Definitely a big mistake.
Yeah, and that's the kind of mistake that could be very costly here, is now MNMD are pushing out a point 1, one of the big places to eat the time bank if you're on defense, with a lot of time remaining. But still a lot of map to go. Easy Clap here are establishing up on the top of the castle. Normal Eichenwald stuff is Heron raining some damage out from the air.
Oh, he's 1v2ing up there.
Whole hog up on top, but now Heron raining a bad justice on the cart does not find anyone here other than the D-Mech on Cruise Master, but this cart still has not been challenged despite the fight kind of being won by Easy Clap. This cart is still being pushed, and now 30 is zoning away. This cart has been pushed so far with no contest. Splinter gets booped, 30 goes down, and now I think Easy Clap have to hold the point here by nature of there being no MNMD players alive. But
there was only 2 people alive pushing that cart.
Easy Clap didn't contest any of the standard places you would see a cart contested.
Yeah, that could be huge, and they're probably just one fight away from pushing that to the end of second point.
Yeah, absolutely one fight away, although this is a pretty difficult point to push. Obviously, the bridge pretty famous, but a hook, Heron taken right out of the sky. Ninja Plus, I take back everything. You have been a monster on this Roadhog. He has bought his team a chance to get onto this cart, and now we see the definitive team fight. UTech chucking in a Diva ult finds one, and this is a lot of picks from Easy Clap. This should be a fight they can win, but Splinter wants to commit the Reinhardt ult. He takes out No Wonder, but I don't think he's going to find any more as the Transcendence has been popped on the other side. But Splinter is still looking for it. Heron with the deep justice. Is this fight going to wind down? Easy Clap only give up a few meters there.
Even say a little bit questionable ults from Heron. I think Shooter Die actually put in his ult towards that too, and it looked like there was only 3 people fighting from MNMD, and yet they got 3 ults by themselves.
Thanks for the assist.
Yeah, it was
not including the Mighty Wolf's ult.
Strange ulting.
Yeah, maybe a bit panic. A little bit of panic.
Yeah, I think there is, just the way these teams are playing. But what again? Ninja Blast! He's in the sky! No wonder though, gonna get the trade here, so we've got a 5v5. Ninja Plus does have the whole hog available. That's the big one I'm gonna be looking for. And here we go, the whole hog coming out, but he's being pushed pretty far out of this fight. Now though, 30 with the tech bus takes out Albino Joe early in the Valkyrie, but he loses his life after that one. Spooky put down as well. This is looking all right for Easy Clap, as they're kind of established on this cart here. Now Splinter down as well. I think that's another team fight win for Easy Clap. Getting the late pick on the Cruise Master here. They're going to force him to just retreat out of this one before finally getting the kill. And the clock is quickly turning into an enemy for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
Yeah, Cruz, he saw No Wonder early in that fight and decided to chase after him a little bit. But that bot, that cost 30 his life because UTech immediately jumps on him and smashes him as that 600 HP Doomfist does.
Yeah, and though Ninja Plus once again finds the first pick of the fight. This time Albino Joe maybe even bigger than picking that Heron out.
How does Roadhog do this by himself and not lose his life?
Yeah, Ryzak dropping the beep, and now UTech dropping the self-destruct. Gonna be blocked by Splinter in the shield. And now MNMD pushing forward. Albino Joe is getting back to this fight. He has rejoined his team now, so it is a full 6v6. His Splinter dropping the hammer. Does not find anything, but suicide out of UTech, and No Wonder down as well. This is a slight advantage for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. Spoopy Koopa gets the res on the Splinter. This is looking good for MNMD, as now it is just a Mercy stalling things out in a Winston. The Mercy has died, the Winston has died, and that should be the second point here. He was kind of posturing like she wants to consider this, but no, she's going to turn around. No, UTech is going to come out, but he's going to get hooked, but that is block time. Tracer is on this point as well. Now, Harry pops the Justice. He gets both of the healers. And there's a chance here, but I don't think
and
it's
they
gonna
kill
happen.
No Wonder.
Now just Shooter Die though, and he's actually gonna jump up and just in that jump. Sorry, he's jumping out. No, he dies. He dies. These fights have been hard for me to keep track of here, but an awkward point too. And now 30 actually he's going for the push here. He pops the attack visor. He gets a D-back.
That was questionable to say the least. What a hook.
Oh my god, Ninja Pledge
Can't say enough about this guy.
Who needs hit scan to take Heron out when you could just pick Roadhog?
Yeah. He's a monster. He's killed that Mercy or the Pharah every single fight. And hook again!
Oh my god, what a monster. Now the going in Cruise Master, fine, shooter die. Ninja Blast putting out some good damage with this whole hog in the close quarters, but UTech is getting a long stall here on the cart before finally giving up his life. Ryzak with the finishing blow. This is still looking good for MNMD though. Ninja Plez playing this one deep, looking for a pick on the entry. Can he find the big hook? Shooter die, gonna touch, Tracer, gonna touch, Albino Joe, Valkyrie up in the air. There is not much time remaining. MNMD probably need to win this fight for 30. Unopposed on the high ground for a while before UTech coming up to challenge. Splinter drops the hammer down, gets some damage in the corner. This is looking good for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. They're fighting pick after pick here. Now Albino Joe is down. The Mighty Wolf is down. It is just one on the counter. That's not enough. MNMD find the third point, and we're going to round 3.
You remember when I said, do you like the triple tank? I love this triple tank when Ninja Please is playing this Roadhog. I don't know how he does it, but he's like flanked around 1v6 and gets a pick and lives. Not every single time, but like how... I don't know if this is like blindness from Easy Clap for not seeing this Roadhog. I don't think UTEX managed to block the shots from him either, but say what you say, this Roadhog pick has really worked out for them.
Yeah, they've kind of abused the chaotic style that Easy Clap likes to play with. Roadhog, he thrives in that chaos where he can just go in there, find one guy doing his own thing, hook him and kill him. And the fact that he's landing these hooks on airborne targets consistently, it's unreal. And Ninja Plez, he's sticking with this Roadhog. This pick is hot right now, and
yeah,
this just makes sense.
I 100% agree with it. If you're feeling it, especially in the baddie league, you stay on it, you keep playing it, and you keep hooking that fair out of the sky. Or Albino Joe. A major part of why Easy Clap does so well is just Albino Joe manages to get off reses because people don't pay attention. And if he's dead first, then that's huge. This team crumbles a little bit more.
Yeah, and if they can get a pick here early, only 60 seconds for Easy Clap to push, it could be huge. So we will see as the push now coming right through this choke. Oh, but the Mighty Wolf gets picked on the entry. 30 coming up big. This could be huge because... Ooh, no wonder down as well. Albino Joe gets the res off, but they may have heard somebody else's. Ninja Plez has found 2 picks here, and this is looking like it's going to be a hold for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. If they can get the staggers here, this could be so huge. And Ninja Plez going to get that stagger. UTech takes so long to die in the DMAC. This is a disaster for Easy Clap on Eichenwalds.
Only 15 seconds remaining. They might not even be able to touch. He shouldn't be... He needs to switch to like Lucio or something. They need to touch. And Ninja Please on his own here, just is killing both DPS. What a madman.
Tracer gonna get onto the points, but have to recall off immediately, but that has bought the time. 30 though on the entry, finds the Mighty Wolf. Ninja Plez finds a pick of his own. This is 2 advantage for MNMD, and that quad 30 into attack visor where he is taking Heron out of the sky, looking for more damage. He's gonna get Albino Joe. They're gonna get UTEX mech. And they're gonna get UTEX life. Just no wonder on this Tracer remaining. And the whole hog coming out after the kill. That's going to be a 0.1 hold for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, who now
just a tie at the very least.
Yeah, they just needs to get 1 tick to go for the win here, but they're probably maybe get 2 fights to do it if they do it fast.
Wow. You just can't say enough about Ninja Please's Roadhog right now. But what you can say is they're not doing any... I don't think UTech is used to playing against Roadhogs enough as D.Va. Because it's his job to make sure that whoever gets hooked shouldn't be dying that fast. He needs to have that right click ready. Normally, a Roadhog has to hook the D.Va, or else he's gonna get right clicked.
Even if UTech is able to do that successfully, just forcing that change in playstyle out of UTech, that could be a huge collapse in Easy Clap's entire playstyle, as they normally rely on UTech putting out so much pressure on the opposing backline. And, you know, like we were talking about earlier, in Week 10, when UTech wasn't there, they didn't have that pressure on the backline of Lavi's dabs, and everything else that Easy Clap ran just kind of fell apart. I don't know if this team can afford for UTech to play Peel.
Oof. But why wouldn't they run this triple tank again? Why would they switch? Because Ninja Please believes he can carry on anything, I guess.
Yeah,
and
they this is a strong first point for a Pharaoh attack. He's got the opportunities to go high. He's got the opportunities to stay with his team. But Heron and Albino Joe are going to be scouting this one out nice and early. Put out a little bit of poke, but nothing substantial, as once again, Moira Ball eaten on the entry. I kind of want to see a fast push here out of Mercy Nerfy Daddy so they can potentially have a chance for 2 fights, and they are going to quickly top themselves off behind this center building here. No wonder, looking for some poke on the side here. This is a fairly slow entry out of Mercy Nerfy Daddy. They want to get some poke up onto that pharmacy, but they're not doing a whole lot, and now no wonder goes deep, finds 30.
NinjaPlays has spent his whole time right now trying to kill this Pharaoh.
Yeah, this is a lost fight for MNMD.
mistake.
They have to get out fast. Cruise past the retreat, but Easy Clap are going to push. They want to break the backs of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy right here and now. They get the D-Mech onto Cruz. He is not going to have a remech in this game.
He needs to change. He should have just gone back to. Okay, he's going back right. No, he's changing his mind. He should have just gone back to spawn, switch characters. But anyway, that's not. This fight's going on.
Splinter is going to touch, so we have the contest coming up, and Heron early range justice finds quickly finds 30. Disaster for MNMD. Is there a play they have in their book to try to win this one? Into Albino Joe, popping the Valkyrie. That's now 4 deaths for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. And we look like we are headed towards a draw. Just to be Ninja Plays alive, and not for long.
That is so sad.
And after all the excitement on Eichenwald, we take this to a draw.
That is a huge disappointment. Honestly. It was not a fair getting play of the game. Splinter on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, this last hammer down on the push gets everyone right up against the wall. One of the few hammer downs that paid off for Splinter, and it paid off huge.
Huh. Does it go back to a draft? How does it go for draws?
That's a great question. I believe we are going to go back to a draft. So if that's the case, I'm going to just reset this spreadsheet on up.
I'm gonna let them know. And if I was Easy Clap right now, I'd want to get them away from those triple tank. Any maps that they could play triple tank, like King's Row, things like that, because they look scary. Ninja plays. I honestly feel like he made a mistake picking Pharaoh there.
Yeah,
he hardcore looked for the enemy Pharaoh the entire time he attacked, and he didn't kill her. Oof. Who banned second?
I'm thinking it's going to be Clap. But it's looking like so no one can pick Eichenwald again. So we're just going to cut that one out. That's smart. And then I think we're going to figure out who bans second. I'm assuming it's going to be Easy Clap.
It should be whoever has highest seed or the head-to-head, I think, again.
Yeah.
I think on the spreadsheet it said head-to-head, which should be towards Easy Clap. I don't think they lost against MNMD. Unless I'm wrong about that, but...
So just waiting to get that confirmation that it's Easy Clap to ban second.
Yeah. Easy Clap ban second. Fine. Head to head. Like, technically, if Easy Clap was higher seeded but had lost twice to MNMD, I think it would have been different.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but ultimately will not end up mattering.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, fortunately.
Ugh.
So
I always hate the draws, because it just feels like so much energy thrown in.
It's just gone.
Just oof.
Yes.
Is Nepal removed from the draft?
Uh,
Oh gosh, we weren't prepared.
yeah, I guess we're gonna need to figure out what's up with that real quick as well.
I mean, if only Eichenwald is banned, then MMD would get the second ban because the how that works. The last pick gets changed. But if Eichenwald and Nepal are both removed, then they'll stay the same. Yeah, just take. I'd just take both out.
That makes sense.
Makes it simpler. I mean, like. Back into picks and bans. Whew.
All right, so I think we're gonna do a quick stream break here for us to recoup while these teams go through bans, since this will probably take a few minutes.
Sounds
So
good.
I believe this is up on the stream, so you guys can watch here how this draft is going. We will be back in just a moment. See where we're gonna take you. All right, folks, welcome back to map 3 here, as this series is currently Easy Clap up 1-0 after that draw on Eichenwald. We are going to Route 66, a map we came really close to starting tonight off on, and a map that MNMD looked solid on last week. They've looked decent on over the season. Unfortunately, it's not Blizzard World. We came close, but ultimately Easy Clap dropped the ball for all of us.
They would not let us see the cheese chats this time. But
Yeah,
Route 66, one of the payloads that Bastion is more commonly seen, so I'd be excited.
Yeah, and I imagine between the two directions this map is going to play, somebody is probably going to try this Bastion. Aaron currently hovering it. We'll see if he sticks with it. I'm not going to count on it just yet. But we will be opening with Easy Clap on the attack. MNMD on the defense. Is MNMD trying to decide what to do with their last right now. Going back to that, Moira Lucio is their healer's composition. And it's looking like they are going to go with the triple tank again. Ninja Plus going back to that Roadhog. And once
Makes
again,
sense.
Yeah, and once again, I like this specifically because with Moira and Lucio as your healers, I think you really need to have 30 and Ninja both need some way to sustain themselves. And these are probably the two most survivable non-healers in the game in terms of just straight healing offered.
And Roadhog, if he can at the very least, trade 1-for-1, Roadhog's job is pretty much done. He kind of just turns into an ult charge generally, but the way Ninja Please has been playing it, it's been really good, and Easy Clap will not give us the Bastion to be so want, but
yeah, not that surprised. Easy Clap, this is a good point to run the Easy Clap composition. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to bust through this Ursa Shield nice and early. These teams doing the old standard poke trade, as these Moiras got to stop just chucking balls right at D.Va.
Yeah, D.Va definitely the biggest counter to Moira.
Yeah, and we see the flanks being set up, and here we go, immediately being dived. But UTech gonna lose that mech early. Still no contest on the cart though. But no push on the cart either, is MNMD holding this high ground. They now get the pick here, but they're gonna lose 30 in the process. There is no resurrect available. So this is alright for Easy Clap, and once again, there is no contest on this cart just yet. They want to give up a lot of ground here. Buy some time for 30 to get close. Now Cruz going for the opposing backline. He's really split the lines here, and now Splinter dropping onto this cart, dropping some shields, and Heron made him double sky, but he's going to narrowly escape this time. So the line being pushed back for Mercenary Daddy is 30, just now takes Heron out of the sky, but Albino Joe's gonna get that res off, and no wonder finds the double kill on the healers. Now Heron dropping Justice, but gets shot out by Ninja Plus, but I don't think that's gonna matter. Easy Clap gonna take this point, and they are gonna push on back. Getting the picks onto 30, and Ninja Plus to rounds this fight out. And
Easy Clap about this triple tank comp. If Ninja Please can't hit people with hooks, and he doesn't kill Pharah and Tracer like he did last map, then suddenly it's a terrible pick. And they have no way to deal with the Pharah in the sky.
Yeah, but they do. A lot of ults available in both directions here. Is UTech gonna be the first one to chuck in a bomb? Gonna just get eaten up by that Orisa barrier. But good damage coming out. 30 takes Heron out of the sky, and now this should be a commit from Mercenary BI. Albino Joe does have the Resurrect available, and no wonder takes out Splinter early, but he's gonna lose his life in the process. 30 down as well though, so this is still a nice advantage for for Easy Clap here. But as I said, there are some picks being traded now. I think this is a 4 versus 4 in the cart. But UTech once again is able to go so deep, creates the space. This cart has not come to a halt at all on this streets phase. 30 just now getting back. He's got access to the back line. He's got a tackle visor available, but he might not even need it. Albino Joe is down in a healer trade here. The tanks are stalling on top of this cut. As 30 is being pushed very far away from his team. He is off in no man's land, about to lose his life, and Heron will finish things off. Now to Mighty Wolf popping Transcendence on the cart, going to eat up that whole hog here. As Spoopy Koopa going down, the damage is coming out for Easy Clap here. UTech gonna drop it very hard to dodge D.Va off, but MNMD more or less do dodge it, but I still don't know if that's going to be enough. This extended team fight has 30 just now getting back from one. He's got the tactical advisor. Can he find the picks as he has just lost 2 of his teammates? Cruz looking for something big with the self-destruct, but does not find it. This Easy Clap are getting so many picks here, but they still have not moved this card forward, and now, finally, they win this fight.
I mentioned very briefly how Easy Clap likes to play is they just keep throwing bodies and ults at you over and over. And look at MNMD's ults right now. They used everything trying to stop that. And they still couldn't win the fight because Easy Clap is used to playing this style. They were born in it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that Easy Clap ever lost the man advantage there either, which was another big thing. And now that puts them into a really good position going on to phase 3 here. They are close on multiple big ults. They've got the Monkey, they've got the Transcendence, they've got the Tracer, whereas there is nothing close for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. This could quickly be a 66 ending disaster. As here we go, no wonder going in. The 1-for-1 trade, but now 30 down as well. The Easy Clap is coming through. They found both the healers. They found 30. They found Splinter. No wonder going to get res towards the end of his death timer there. Ninja Plus down as well. It's just Cruz buying time as a baby diva. Shoot or die, jumping towards the spawn, going to deal the damage on entry as 30. Coming forward with the stall pick, but does not even get a chance to ice block. And this is looking like a Route 66 disaster for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy as Justice doesn't find anyone, but it doesn't need to. Because with 3 minutes remaining, Easy Clap get all 3 points.
You know, we did talk about how good MNMD played last week on this map, but if I remember correctly, Easy Clap haven't actually lost on Route 66. I'm remembering now, just UTech has got played the game twice when they played this map. At the very end, I'm pretty sure, is I think I casted both those games, but man, how much ground MNMD gives up is kind of gross. They leave their tanks don't play aggressive enough to stall at all. They're pretty much waiting. I feel like they're waiting for ninja plays to do something miraculous again.
Yeah,
and you can't rely on it.
I agree. That's how it looks. And one of the big things against dive comps is to win fights, you kind of need to force the opposing tanks to use their cooldowns to get into the fight. And UTech and Shoot or Die, in a lot of these fights, they're able to just walk into the threat zone. And then they're able to use their movement abilities to just completely jump past everything that MNMD have set up. So they're going into these fights at a major advantage because the tanks from MNMD just do not challenge the neutral zone.
And then by the time they do, they're at the end of the map. Or they're at the end of the point. I think that they were 3/4 of the way done first point when they finally contested. They were at the end of second point when they contested, and pretty much 3/4 of the way at third. So they just gotta be more aggressive. They need someone to tell them, okay, we're fighting, go on this person.
Yeah, so
do whatever you can.
Sailboat's going to be attempted here. 30 on the Bastion, going with that 3-tank composition. But Easy Clap playing this one pretty far forward. I expect an early contest here as they are setting up in this high tunnel. But UTech going to be pulled off. He's able to escape with his mech just barely. But ooh, 30 does find No Wonder on his entry. And now can they find the Pharah as well? The answer is yes. Albino Drogo down 2. This is a great start for the Bastion.
Good job by the Easy Clap tanks to get out of there, but getting picked off. It's really hard for Pharah to do anything against this team comp. Who can she really shoot without getting targeted? He switches.
The answer is no one, as he hops over to that Genji. It's looking like a first point contest is coming out, but UTech loses his mech so fast here. 30 once again just shredding through the opposing team. Does not nut in his own face into that Genji, and this is looking like the fight is meant to be won by Bastion and his 5 friends. This Easy Clap just get wiped off of Route 66, and it's point 1 going over to MNMD.
You saw that at the very first fight, UTech tries to go in to right-click 30, but immediately gets hooked. And then 30 just smashes his face in. and no matter how much they tried, Heron couldn't find that like very weak vital split in the back to triple Shuriken. So
yeah, and Heron loses all his ult charge there as he swapped Junkrat and then swapped back to Genji. So a little indecision coming out of Easy Clap here. Not normal for them, but oh, he does find Ryzak here on the flank. Gonna lose his life in the process though. Probably worth it for the Genji, especially if the Genji gets rezzed. As this fight happening kind of behind the cart. The cart just finally coming to a stop here as the Zenyatta trade. 30 once again finds the kill onto Heron, but I don't know if he's making it out with his life, and no, he is not. As these tanks are kind of fighting all over the place, but these tanks are still alive. Ryzak does get the res under 30, and here comes the configuration tank to try to clean up this fight. Damage going to try to be eaten by UTech, and he's going to self-destruct before losing his life, but 30 still finds a lot of pressure with this ultimate. Albino Joe, the last to fall for Easy Clap. And that's going to be a nice chance for MNMD to push this one forward. As 30 is going to try to set up high ground, attack this team on their entry.
MNMD managed to beat Easy Clap a little bit at their own game, I'd say. They stalled the fight out, they got a res.
Oh, and 30 puts out so much damage on the entry. Shooter guy jumps and dies before hitting the ground. Albino Joe attempting the res, he's going to get it here, but they've already given up the point. They're committing off, but they need to just commit to losing this fight. But they look like they want to hold. But MNMD out right outside of their spawn now. 30 has the second configuration tank here. Gonna try to win this fight. Oh, he gets both of the DPS with one shot. Now, mopping things up as his teammates coming straight outside of their own spawn. Gonna get a nice stagger on UTech to round this fight up. And that was honestly just a really bad contest out of Easy Clap there.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but if they fought early, they can regroup with how much time they stalled. But putting ults into that was a huge mistake. I mean, Spoopy didn't even have to trans to stop the blade, and he's dead again.
Ninja with a nice roam forward, gonna force the res out of Albino Joe. As 30, where is 30?
He's in the back left a little bit.
What?
It's a nice spot, actually.
It's working. It's working. There's now 30 running up behind the American Eagle truck. There is a monkey ult gonna just try to buy time on this cart, but Bastion can shred through everything. 30 has maybe 90% of his team's kills here on offense, but now 30 does finally go down. Cooper Keeper's gonna pop the Transcendence here as they want to commit to winning this fight. That was enough to res 30, who has another configuration tank. Takes Albino Joe out, takes out the Mighty Wolf before losing his life, and now Heron gonna have an unopposed Dragon Blade coming through. He finds Ryzak as UTech finds two more with the self-destruct. Cruz is committed to self-destruct of his own, but he won't find anything, and this should be a reset for Easy Clap.
Heron, well, first, no wonder getting the Pulse Bomb finally onto the Bastion for the first time this map was huge. Forcing both support ults just to react to it. But Heron managed to reflect one rocket from the Bastion into him, which caused him to die, honestly, so pretty big play out of him.
Oh, but Shooter Guy gets hooked early, and he is going to lose his life to it. I don't think you're going to be getting a resurrect on that monkey, no matter how crazy Albino Joe likes to play. It's now Bongo coming down from Splinter. This is a sign of a commit from MNMZ. They want to end this with as much time remaining as possible, but they are taking their time here. But now Albino Joe, who is on the Lucio, going to lose his life here. Good damage coming up. 30 going to lose his life, so it's a 1-for-1 to start this fight. As Ninja Plus gets the hook, but does not secure a kill. The Pulse Bomb will take out Ryzak, but another 1-for-1 trade is next being traded even. This is such an even fight, but Easy Clap look like they're starting to gain the advantage. But as I say that, they lose Heron into Mighty Wolf. They lose no wonder. It's now just Albino Joe and a baby UTech, but it's just Ninja Plus and a baby Cruise Master. Albino Joe buying so much time on this Lucio, though. It's working.
And this isn't going to work because defense has spawn advantage. They have to get out.
Yeah, the spawn advantage finally coming through, but Ninja Plus looking for the hook. Heron able to reflect his way out of that one, and we finally see the reset here.
Oof. And the time is running out. They might be panicking a little bit. They do have a ult advantage, I'd say. Spoopy has his trends, maybe a little bit. We'll get who first. That hook was nice.
Gotta try to save that transcendence for the Dragon Blade here, as they do not want to give Heron the opportunity to win this fight. And now here we go, 30 downtown, popping high noon. As self-destruct coming out of both of these divas here.
Oh no.
Albino Joe is all disengaged, but Utek does find the kill onto Splinter there. And now Easy Clap pushing this one forward. MNMD are being forced so far back here. Ooh.
Oh, gotta get out.
I wonder with the double kill for good measure, and a good chunk of the ults committed there, but both these teams do have some available still. The big thing, Scooby does have Transcendence available for Heron's Dragon Blade, so that's kind of the back and forth we're going to be watching for here, is we could be going into the last fight depending on how fast this fight goes.
Splinter's gonna be off of that Orisa, I do agree with that. Switching to the dive tanks, do what he can do.
Yeah, 30 on the Reaper as well, so this is presumably the final composition coming out of Mercy Nerf Me Daddy as they get the hook early on to Utek here. Do they get the D-Mac? Yes, they do. And now Ninja Flash popping this whole hog with no Diva to eat it. Pushing forward here. Easy Clap pretty far backwards. They've lost their tanks. They dropped in the beat for what remains, but Scooby Koopa's going to be able to transcend into this Dragon Blade, but 30 playing far away from the Zenyatta does not matter. Heron finds nothing. The ults evening each other out. Still a spawn advantage here for the defense, but they lose Heron just as I say that. They lose Albino Joe, but Ryzak and Scooby Koopa going down. That's no heals available for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, and this will be the last fight. Cruisemaster chucking that ult in aggressively, but maybe it goes a little too deep as it doesn't find anyone. 30 is down as the spawn advantage starting to come through. Utek is able to pop a Diva ult, gets a kill on a Ninja Plez on his own, and I don't know if Mercy Nerf Me Daddy will be able to get back to this card time. No, they will not. And after the Bastion push goes so well, Easy Clap hold Route 66 at the very end.
Wow. I don't think No Wonder died that last
Not much.
point. And look, Utek played the game again.
Yeah,
Like I
Utek was
said.
big on this Diva. Gonna be the fight that stops the long Bastion push here as he finds two with that Diva ult. And he was just finding some very good damage over the course of this fight. Gets the kill on a Cruise Master before he can finish the remake.
Wow. 72% kill participation.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Utek's a monster, man.
Yeah, Utek, huge. Huge that map. As now MNMD backs against the wall. Gotta pull off the reverse sweep here. That's looking like a tall task because MNMD, they have not really been able to chain together sustained success at any point in this series. They've had a few things that can get hot for a bit, but nothing can keep carrying forever in this series.
Yeah. I mean, Roadhog for Ninja Plays was so good, map 2, that I think that's all he wanted to play. He wanted to kind of grind it out, but he really didn't. He just didn't have as much of an impact. I think that Easy Clap kind of woke up a little bit. They might have been a bit more surprised. They expected it. Heron probably playing a little bit more safe. And I mean, they didn't even play Pharah on defense, so just not as much effectiveness from him. I think the Bastion was not novel. It worked for a good time until they finally like committed ults to it. Before, I think I saw one Tracer Bomb thrown early in a fight at it, but it just didn't. I think 30 wasn't even in position to get hit, so oof. On second point.
Oof, indeed.
Oof. It was decently close. They got far. But what maps? I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to say. We're still waiting on Easy Clap to pick their 4 bans here. So
If I were Easy Clap, I would get rid of the hybrid. Maybe put in a ban on Numbani. Or wait, Numbani is hybrid, I'm dumb.
yeah, if Easy Clap wants to eliminate the hybrid, they will be able to, since Eichenwald can't be picked again.
And MNMD, honestly, they should look into doing something to CP. If the hybrid gets banned, like I think that it will, they should look for something 2CP. Maybe Hanamura. Maybe
And it's gonna be bands coming through are gonna be Hollywood, Kings Row, Numbani, Dorado. So they leave Blizzard World available as the only hybrid, swapping in Dorado instead. Not feeling good about that map, so we will see. Can MNMD, with their season on the line, have it in
please
them to
bring
pick
up Blizzard
Worlds?
It's the world of dreams. The world of dreams and memes and freaking machines. Like,
Yeah, and I think that MNMD could use all three of those right about now. As they're debating what they want to do here. And remember, this is still a lot of ground MNMD have to cover. Even if they do win this map on their pick, they're going to have to beat Easy Clap on 2 of Easy Clap's picks if they want to close this series out.
Yeah. And then they have to, what is it? Then there's a tiebreaker, I guess. Even then, so they'd have to win 3 games in a row, I think.
Yeah, and even if they win the first one, what I'm saying is that Easy Clap will get to pick the second and potentially third maps. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a tough 3-0 run back here.
Yeah, I doubt they will get their called their hybrid maps every single time, even if they do pick Blizzard World here.
Yeah, presumably the last hybrid they would play.
Easy Clap would just pick like Ilios or
yeah, I imagine that
Bijan.
Easy Clap, if they did get a pick, we would see this going back to King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see. MNMD putting a lot of thought into this one,
as they should. This is
season on the
most
line.
Important map. Yeah,
it ends here with a loss after all the hype, and they've got to be looking for something where they can try something different, because they have not been able to come close enough thus far in this series.
I definitely would say close, but you are right in the last word there, enough, because they've had some nice showings. I think 30's Bastion, Ninja Please's Roadhog, they've looked nice in all these situations. It's getting through the whole thing. Ilios.
But 30 gonna go to Ilios here, so season on the line. They're going no potential draws here. And we talked about this earlier. 30, he feels good about King of the Hill. Ninja Please probably feels good about King of the Hill too. Is generally good DPS players enjoy King of the Hill, I've noticed. But this is not where I would have liked to have seen MNMD go. Like I said, 2-5 in the regular season on King of the Hill. They've secured a few wins in the playoffs.
Watch it really depends on which parts of Ilios they get. I would really be interested to see Ruins being played if both Widowmakers get pulled out from Ninja and No Wonder. Ninja sometimes has really good maps on Widow, and we've only seen No Wonder play it a couple times, but if it's 100% the Roadhog. He's gonna... I can't see why not. Speaking of well.
Yeah, gonna start here on the well.
Yeah,
100% hovering the Roadhog.
Insta-lock.
Tough though, because this could be a good map for the Pharah too. So maybe if this isn't going well early, we'd see that swap.
True. I would rather... if he plays Pharah again, I want to see him have much better target selection than he did on Eichenwald when he played it. Maybe a little bit more coordination.
I don't have it in me to doubt the Pharah. You have not had the fear of God put in you to the same degree I did. The last time I played against him.
True. It's just when I watched him, at least on Eichenwald's attack, he prioritized trying to kill the Pharmacy very highly. Maybe because he was used to doing that on Roadhog, and it didn't work out for them. But we'll see what they want to play. The triple tank.
Team Booth coming out here for MNMD. The usual coming out for Easy Clap. And here we go. Elimination map for Mercy and Earth Me Daddy. Can they start the comeback, or will they be swept-ish in this semifinal? Easy clap setting up nice and smooth. Sorry, Mercy Nerf Daddy setting up behind this.
Ryzak, where are you going?
That's rough. Lucio's are both down, so this is man advantage and MNMD early in this fight. Albino Joe jumping aggressively to get back to his team, as no one is controlling on this point just yet. But Easy Clap are losing a lot of people. They do get a pick on the 30, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Ryzak has made it back from spawn, and that is going to be first point going to MNMD.
Lucios are way too used to this map, playing it in quick play and just being able to run at teams and get behind them. Because Ryzak completely cut out in that little room. A little bit awkward. UTech just 600 HP Doom pisted him into the wall, but they still won the fight, which is shocking to me. But both Lucios went down immediately, so.
So here we go, side engage coming out here as Heron already has Dusses available. He takes out that Ninja Plez early. A lot of damage being dealt to MNMD here, and those are turning into kills. That's 3 kills in a DMAC already. Easy Clap looking like they're gonna flip this point. How long can MNMD stall this one? This 30 is on the Tracer. He's gonna buy a few percentage points here before going down, but that is gonna be a point flip, 44-0. Going over
really
to Easy
nice
Clap.
engage off of Easy Clap. Heron, I'm sure they called out no hook, and then Ninja Please had nowhere to run as he just got completely focused on. I didn't see where Cruise Master was, but it was his responsibility, that barrage. Oh!
Ooh, 30 down, pulls out to Mighty Wolf early before he would get a chance to ult this fight, as UTech though does use the self-destruct to find Ninja Plus. Albino Joe gets the resident of the Mighty Wolf, now 30 down as well. That's the 2 superstars dead before gets boop popped. They all try to get out and whips it. Ryzak with the double boop may have bought his team an opportunity here.
Maybe? Can they kill the Pharah? That's the question. Oh.
Yeah, awkward fight now. Cruise Master dropping the self-destruct on the point. At least gonna get some zoning here. But Splinter going down in the process. Now Heron once again has justice. He takes on Nipples yet again before going down. Another kind of sloppy fight here on the point, but this is looking decent. But 30 I guess gets booped mid-jump there and did not have the tools to get out. And an awkward fight, but Easy Clap do hold on to this point.
That's still my favorite Zedekis edit ever, is the whole 30 Tracer on well. I mean,
Man, sometimes you gotta just give it your best.
The
And 30 will bring his best to Soldier 76. Now we see Kamehameha coming out. It's pretty cool, but he's being zoned pretty far back by UTech's Diva. UTech does not secure the kill, but it may not matter. Shooter die now in that back line as well. Easy Clap playing this aggressively, just like they always do, as this fight is forcing MNMD back, but they do lose Heron and a mech here. This could be a chance for MNMD to turn, as now the damage is coming through. Mercenary Daddy get the Lucio off. They lose 30, but it should not matter. Albino Joe dies getting a res onto Shooter Die, but this is a huge man advantage for MNMD, as they're going to just try to finish things off here. Shooter Die finally goes down, and that is a point flipped.
Yeah, they did get to 99% stalling enough, and they're gonna have ult advantage running into this next fight. Albino Joe with his Mercy ult soon too, and they're gonna have pretty much everything coming in, and MNMD have had to use pretty much everything just to get here.
Yeah, fortunately for MNMD, this is probably the last fight, with especially this entry not coming super fast. Yeah, by the time the fight ends, we're going to be in the mid-80s. And here we go, fight beginning, and no wonder picks out Ryzak nice and early. Now Albino Joe and Valkyrie as well. This is looking very good for Easy Clap, as they are forcing self-destruct out. 30 is going to ult as well, as Heron takes a little break to recover down inside the well. But this is still going good for Easy Clap. They are forcing Mercy and Daddy very split on this point. Now Cruise Master losing his back, as he is buying time for his team to get back, but now he has lost his life. Ninja Plus has remade his entry onto this point. He has a whole hog available, but he needs to be very aggressive here. He does find that hook into Albino Joe, but Heron with a nice justice on the other side of this point. And this point is just about to flip. Splitter cannot step off here, but the boops are going to be enough, and that is a point flip for Easy Clap. Pushing forward here, not gonna let anyone touch.
Oh.
Cruise Master just barely gets on though, as he and Ryzak have both made their way to this point. Ryzak trying to hold on to his life, but he is not able to for very long. Cruise Master down as well here. I don't think 30 is going to be enough. Although they did have a Moira make it pretty deep onto this point, but this is just the inevitable coming through in favor of Easy Clap. They're getting pick after pick here. There's still Winston on the back end of this point, buying as much time as that Winston can, but it's not enough. Easy Clap taking the 1-0 lead on Ilios.
That round point, the map that I would say definitely had the best chance of MNMD winning the round, I'd say.
And they're gonna get it.
I'm excited. Ninja Please needs to. Well, first off, it forces Aaron off of his comfort pick of Pharah. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if No Wonder just didn't run Pharah or Widow against him. But if Ninja Please can put out enough pressure, then this map is the map for them to win.
The way we were predicting, I assume Ruins is the sole reason Nepal was the pick here for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy. So a lot of pressure on Ninja Please to come through as the nice long-range DPS coming out of MNMD. Genji coming out of Heron is the one swap up with the Easy Clap composition. As MNMD are already having to play this one a bit on the back foot. As now UTech coming in, creating some space, but loses that mech early, loses his life to go with it. Now Heron though on the Genji, he's coming through, putting out some damage, and MNMD are zoned pretty far away from this point. That is forcing the entrance here. As now both these teams making their way onto this point. Albino Joe loses his life there to the Splinter left click though. As both the healers down for Easy Clap. No Wonder down as well. Ninja Please, the damage is coming through here from far. And that's once again going to be a first point capture going over to Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
Something to say about Albino Joe is you don't see him dying very often, but I've definitely seen him die a lot more often when he doesn't have Heron on Pharah. He doesn't have that air protection where he can just hide a little bit better, and it lets the tanks find him a lot easier.
Yeah, this can be a pretty tough composition to play Mercy in as. As Cruisemaster finishes the kill on the No Wonder here. Mercy Nerf Me Daddy, they're playing this one pretty far back, but it may not matter. They may have been trying to bait the opposing team onto the point. It's out 30's got the tank fighter coming out. Should be pretty clean as there's no heals available here. They did find Ninja Please, but I don't think that's going to matter. Ishrudai is just wasting time on this point before going down, and there's a suicide coming out of UTech.
Yeah. Lucio probably a little bit unnecessary, but at least they won the fight. They didn't use it and lose the fight at the very least, and they're gonna have Spoopy's ult, so.
Yeah, but they don't have any big time ults going into this next fight. Easy Clap
for that blade too.
Will have everything in just a few percentage here. So this is the fight, potentially the last fight if they're not fast about it, and MNMD at least do have sight of everything here as the Infrasight has come through. 30 finds No Wonder early. That could be huge. As now the aggression coming forward. Albino Joe gets the res and then pops into Valkyrie. Karen is down though. Cannot bring that Genji back to life, but No Wonder has traded with 30 here. One DPS down on both sides. Albino Joe putting out some good healing up in the air from that Valkyrie. As there's not a whole lot of sticking damage coming out in this fight. Not yet anyways. As UTech is going to drop, sorry, that's Cruisemaster dropping it all from the point. He does find a Mighty Wolf. There's a healer trade there. As now Vizak is down as well, so that is no healers available for MNMD. 30 has made his way back to this point. He's trying to put out the left click damage, but he's going to lose his life, and this is looking like Easy Clap. Just barely going to get the flip here. A second Infrasight of the fight coming through, but it's not going to matter. The point flips over to Easy Clap.
Say the least, so they did get it to 99%. They're going to have probably 3 or 4 fights to get it back. They don't have ult advantage right now, so they're going to be looking for Ninja to get a pick or just for dry pushes.
Yeah, they're going to... Exactly. They have the opportunities there. They just need to be careful not to commit any silly ults here. As they are coming forward, trying to pull ults out. Heron wasting no time, but 30 does not agree with us. He is popping attack fires early. Finds Albino Joe before going down, and now Swoopy is down as well. 2 picks fast for Easy Clap here. But now Ninja Please does get to Mighty Wolf. Ninja Please still fairly uncontested up in the backline. Trying to put the damage down onto this point. Splinter has popped the Monkey Ultimate, but Cruz has lost his mech at the same time. Can NinjaPlez find these picks for his team to get this flip here? They've lost Crewmaster, but NinjaPlez did find that Tracer. This is looking good. Albino Joe loses his life on the entry to Mighty Wolf on that Lucio. Shooter die on that Winston. Will they be enough? One down. Shooter die lasting a while here though, but now he is down as well. UTech did get out to this point. They are stalling this one up as long as they can, but they have to stall it out even longer because if this point flips, it's going to be an MNMD win. NinjaPlez still completely uncontested on this Widowmaker, putting out so much damage, putting out so much pressure, and 30 taking advantage of his openings. Impercent comes out again, but there are no members of Easy Clap on this point. Can Shooter Die touch? No, he cannot. He goes down trying, and that is going to be Ruins going over to Mercy Nerf Me Daddy.
A little bit of a sigh of relief as they finally get their first round out of the 2 King of the Hills they played, and to be expected, honestly. Widowmaker, so necessary for that map. It's not even funny. It's why I kind of hate the pick in general, because she really forces you to play around her on specific maps like Ruins, on Junkertown. And NinjaPlez had his way. He got so many picks.
Yeah, very effective there. The tanks from Easy Clap were not able to find them, but he's not going to be running here on Lighthouse. Ninja going over to the Reaper. Heron going back to the Pharah, kind of the defining picks here.
Oof.
Both these teams going straight towards the point early. Heron looking for boops as Mercy Nerf Me Daddy have established on the point, but they've already lost 30. Splinter's trying to swing this hammer around as it's been a 1-for-1. NinjaPlez gets the killing blow on the Heron, so both teams down in DPS player, but 30 will be sprinting back in no time if this team turns this into a long fight. They have DMAC'd UTech, they've D-Life Shooter Die, and enough of Easy Clap have stepped off. This point is going to be a cap for Mercy Nerf Me Daddy as here come the suicides.
You know, what you normally use Reaper for is to jump on their tank's faces and destroy them, but he literally just went around the left side and put 2 shotgun shots into Heron and killed him. I don't know why he was that low, but it works, I guess. He's 98% to Death Blossom.
Yeah, he's going to have a Death Blossom for this fight, and it could be a huge ult. Obviously a very powerful DPL assault, but here we go. Easy Clap coming in. They find 30 with No Wonders Pulse Bomb. The beat being dropped, but NinjaPlez putting down the Death Blossom of his own. He gets 2 kills before being booped off, but that is both the healers that have gone down for Easy Clap. Heron, though, gets a big justice as it's now some tanky members of Easy Clap here just to capture this point. And it looked good for a second, but it wasn't good enough. Easy Clap flipped the point.
I think there are actually 3 boops there from 3 different people. I think NinjaPlez got booped by Heron, UTech booped Spoopy off, and Shooter Die in the end booped Cruz, so that's pretty unlucky for them. It looked like they would have won the fight otherwise, but
they do at least have some big ults coming in, but Easy Clap does have multiple support ults available. They've already lost Heron though. Now Splinter drops the hammer, trying to find the kill, and Mono Joey's gonna get it. That means no Valkyrie available here. It's the Mighty Wolf. They want to commit to this. They get the boop onto Splinter. They have the Lucio ult now finally wearing off, but no wonder he gets the bomb onto Spoopy Koopa. The contest is looking like it might be working here.
And they kill the Tracer.
NinjaPlez, though, in close quarters, putting out a lot of damage. Will it be enough?
They can't kill the Tracer.
The Tracer and the Pharah putting out so much pressure, and Albino Joe, in the meantime, did make it back to pop his Valkyrie. Splinter charges his way back onto the point. UTech is down. Albino Joe gets the res onto him, but this point is so close to flipping. Diva Bomb being dropped on the point, just his zone, as now Ryzak is dropping his Lucio ult, and this is looking like the kills are coming through. NinjaPlez popping the Death Blossom just to be safe here. Maybe not necessary, but the point flips back to MNMD.
That's so sad. They used... No. They ended up using everything again. Cruz's Diva Bomb, Ryzak's ult. Maybe those were necessary, but NinjaPlez, the last 2 people alive, maybe he was just afraid they'd stall again, but...
Yeah,
unnecessary.
Kind of PTSD coming through from how some of these fights have played out in this series. but this still could be the last coordinated fight coming through. Heron opening it with a big justice. It's a Mighty Wolf gets the double boop. Maybe the playoff series winning boop out of the Mighty Wolf. Is it's now just one member and not for long, and that's a point flip going over to Easy Clap here. Now sitting on an ult advantage, and they only have to hold through one last fight.
Did you see how fast they came back? I think that MNMD maybe got 20%. They came back so fast. Split down to the Reinhardt, more close quarters combat, but
Reinhardt for a bit too, but the fight being engaged pretty far away from this point. So Mighty Wolf popping the Lucio ult, nice and early. Splitter dies mid-hammer. This is not good for Mercy. Their Meat Eddie season on the line. They've lost 3, they've lost 4. 30 trying to come up big with the tactical visor, but it is just 30 trying to save his team's season. He's made his way onto the point, but it will not be enough. An Easy Clap win the series 3-0 to set up a rematch in the finals with Blabby Stabs.
good try.
Play of the game.
Play of the game has to be the Mighty Wolf here. The playoff series winning boop. Look at that, wastes no time, gets straight onto this point and immediately pops that right click.
You don't always see Lucio plays, but normally they're on Ilios.
Yes, indeed. And so, after plenty of drama over the course of this season, it had to come down to this. The 1 and 2 seed, our 2 8-2 teams facing off in the finals. So, folks, we'll see you next week for what should hopefully be a great match.
For sure. See you next week, guys.